All right, so today we're diving deep into some fascinating company culture, right? We're talking Jaipur rugs.
Yeah, but like way more than just pretty rugs, you know? We're getting into the DNA, the core, like what makes this whole operation hum.
Exactly. We're talking the secret sauce, and for this one, we've got some good stuff to work with, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've got internal documents outlining Jaipur Rug's core values, and then to really get into the founder's head, a speech from the man himself.
Nanki Shortradiyari.
Exactly. Often just called NKC, so we might use that.
For sure.
But anyway, what we're really going to unpack here is this concept of family and how they've woven it into, well, pretty much everything they do.
Okay, so not just a family business, like in the traditional sense, but more like family with a capital F as a guiding principle almost.
You got it. And that's what makes this so interesting because we're not just talking bloodlines here. Like, if you look at their JR Way model, they define family as this community built on deep connections, love, compassion.
Hmm. That's not your typical corporate lingo.
Right. And this sense of belonging, like really feeling seen and supported, that's crucial here.
So it's more about that feeling of belonging, even in a professional setting,
Yeah.
rather than who you're actually related to.
Exactly. And this is where NKC, the founder, really put his money where his mouth is. He actually faced some pushback from his own family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when he started working closely with the rug weavers, because back then they were considered, well, untouchable.
Wow, so he wasn't just talking the talk, he was walking the walk, like taking a real social risk there to build those relationships.
Huge risk, and it really shows that this family value, it's not just some marketing ploy. It's woven into the company's history, their actions, everything, and that commitment to breaking down those social barriers, that's at the heart of how they define family.
So, okay, how does this actually play out in their day-to-day? If we were to hand a new Jaipur Rugs team member a family playbook, what would it say? Like, what are the key points?
Oh, I like that, a playbook. All right, well, first thing that jumps out is the language. NKC uses words like love, empathy, respect when he talks about the weavers.
Hmm.
And you even see phrases like daughters of a weaver or the blessings of our artisans sprinkled throughout their materials.
That's striking. You just wouldn't hear that in most corporate environments. It feels very human-centric.
And that's the whole point. They're actively choosing words that foster warmth, connection, a sense of shared purpose. It's the opposite of that cold transactional corporate speak.
It makes you think about how we talk in our own workplaces. Are we building those connections, or are we just stuck in a rut of jargon and numbers? It's a good reminder to, like, be mindful of our language and the impact it has.
Huge impact, absolutely, because the language we use shapes our reality. And at Jaipur Rugs, they've consciously created a language that reflects this family value.
So language is a big part of the playbook, but what else? What other elements help create this culture?
Language is huge for sure, but it's just like one piece of the puzzle, right? At Jaipur Rugs, they go beyond just talking the talk and really bring this family idea to life visually.
Okay, it's interesting. So it's about, like, embodying that value, not just saying it.
Exactly. And one of the most powerful symbols they use is weaving itself. It's not just about making rugs. It represents the connection between, well, everybody.
The artisans, the employees, even the customers, right?
Right. Everyone's part of this intricate web, and each rug kind of carries the blessings, as NKC puts it, and stories of the artisans who created it. So it's not just a product, it's this vessel of connection.
Yeah, I see what you mean. That reminds me of the Mancha project. You familiar with that? It's where they basically give artisans complete freedom to design rugs based on their own ideas, their own story.
Oh, that's perfect, yeah. The Menchaca Project is a great example of how they live this family value. It's about empowering those artisans, celebrating their unique talents, saying, we trust you.
And that kind of trust can be so powerful, especially in a creative field.
Absolutely. It shows they value the individual contributions of each member of the family.
Which makes sense. I mean, you wouldn't expect every member of your family to be exactly the same.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
what makes it so strong. Okay, so we've got language, we've got symbolism, but it goes even deeper than that. There are actual practices, rituals they've woven into their operations.
Oh, I'm all ears. Tell me more about these rituals.
So take NKC, for example. He makes a point of actually working alongside the weavers, like really spending time with them, learning from them, even sharing meals together.
Wow, that's pretty hands-on for a CEO. Not something you see every day.
Right. It really breaks down those hierarchies and creates a sense of shared experience. He's saying we're all in this together, not just with words, but with actions.
That's powerful. Now, I've also heard about something called the higher school of unlearning, And I'm super curious about that. It sounds kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. So basically, they pair up these super experienced professionals with older managers who maybe didn't have the same access to education, right?
So it's about bringing different kinds of knowledge together, like acknowledging that experience is valuable too.
Exactly. It challenges the traditional idea of what makes someone an expert and opens up all these new avenues for learning and understanding. It's like saying we all have something to learn from each other.
Which is so true. I mean, think about all the knowledge that gets lost when we only value certain types of experience. These rituals are fascinating, but I'm also curious, how does Jaipur Rugs formally celebrate and reinforce this family spirit? Do they have any unique ceremonies?
Yeah, they actually have a really interesting one. It's called the Founders Mentality Initiative. Basically, they've meticulously documented NKC's values, his leadership style, everything.
Oh, wow, like capturing his essence.
Exactly. And the goal is to pass that down through the generations of leaders even as the company grows and changes.
So it's about preserving that core, that family spirit, no matter what.
Right, because it's easy to lose sight of those values as you scale up, But this founder's mentality thing, it's like a constant reminder of what really
It's
matters.
like a living document,
Yeah.
almost. But, it makes me wonder, with such a strong family culture, are there any, like, downsides? Does it ever create challenges or potential issues?
That's a good question. And, no system is perfect, right? I think one potential challenge with a strong family culture could be maintaining those professional boundaries. It's a tricky balance.
Yeah, because you want to encourage that warmth and closeness, but you also need clear expectations, professional conduct, that kind of thing.
For sure. And from what I've seen, Jaipur Rugs seems to handle this by really emphasizing open communication. It's about having those tough conversations, setting clear guidelines, and addressing any concerns that pop up.
So it's not about avoiding conflict, but rather dealing with it in a healthy, respectful way, kind of like you'd hope to do in, well, a family.
Exactly. And also recognizing that, not everyone is comfortable with the same level of closeness. They seem to understand that individual differences exist, even within a family structure.
Makes sense. It's about respecting those individual needs while still nurturing that sense of community. Sounds like it takes a lot of work, a lot of ongoing awareness.
It's definitely an ongoing process, not a one-time fix. But I think what Jaipur Rugs shows us is that this kind of culture, this family focus, it can be so powerful when it's genuine, when it's done with intention.
This whole deep dive has been amazing. We've seen how Jaipur Rugs defines family, how they weave it into their language, their symbols, their rituals, even how they handle those potential challenges. It's truly inspiring to see a company that values human connection so deeply.
It makes you think, doesn't it? What if more companies took this approach? Could we create workplaces where people actually feel valued, supported, connected?
I'd love to think so. And as we wrap up here, I want to leave our listeners with this. What if we all took a page from Jaipur Reg's book and looked for ways to bring a little more of that family spirit into our own work lives?
It doesn't have to be some grand gesture. It could be just a small act of kindness, a moment of connection, or just being there to listen and support each other.
Sometimes the smallest things can make the biggest difference. And who knows, maybe by embracing that family mindset, we can create a more fulfilling, more human work experience for everyone.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, that's a wrap for our deep dive into Jaipur Rugs. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep building those meaningful connections.